Hello, everyone. My name is Arpita Ghoshal of SesayArts magazine, and it's my pleasure to speak with Paolo Santalucia today. Paolo is an award-winning theatre artist from Toronto and the current Associate Artistic Director at Crow's Theatre. He is a graduate of the Soul Pepper Academy and was a member of its acting ensemble for 11 seasons. He has also performed in theatres across Canada and the United States. He is a co-founder of the award-winning Howland Company, where he currently remains as one of its artistic leaders. Paolo teaches acting with Toronto Metropolitan University School of Performance, and Paolo is the recipient of 2 Dora Mavor Moore Awards in acting, 1 nomination for direction, and a recent nomination for Outstanding New Play, Prodigal, and has been shortlisted for the John Hirsch Award for directing. Paolo is currently playing Peleus in Colleen Wagner's Thetis and Peleus, directed by Gianni Lozon, and currently on stage at Factory Theatre. Welcome, Paolo. Paolo, I want to start with you a little bit. I want to ask you what inspired you to pursue a career as a theatre artist?
It's a really silly answer, but I grew up really wanting to be a marine biologist, but I have a heart condition and I can't scuba dive. And so when I was diagnosed with that heart condition, I just so happened to also be doing a production of Anne of Green Gables at the Royal Conservatory of Music. And I was playing, I believe I was playing Gilbert. And I sort of was crushed at the fact that I couldn't go scuba diving, but I was playing Gilbert, and then thought, well, maybe I'll just do this because this was really fun. And that was sort of like the first and last time that I ever doubted going into the arts. It was like as soon as I had that idea in my head, I thought I can do this for the rest of my life. But before then, I really wanted to study whales.
Well, could that be a side hobby, like without going underwater?
I think so. You know, and I think I think that there's a real market for non-scuba diving marine biologists really interested in deep sea mammals. I think that I think if someone will take me, I'll be on that boat for sure.
That's a good retirement plan, right?
Totally, yeah.
Armadillos is currently on stage at Factory Theatre, and you are playing the role of Peleus.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask you a little bit about what the play is about. It's a beautiful play by award-winning playwright Colleen Wagner. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what the play is about from your perspective?
For sure. It's I feel like my understanding of the play also deepens as we kind of do it successively each night, to be honest. I mean, it's such an amazing thing to be a part of a new play and a new process. And I feel as though the play is, Colleen's still very actively pursuing I think the meaning and the threads behind some of the elements of it. So it's a great question to ask sort of mid-run, because I feel like my answer is different than it would have been a week ago. What I take the play to be about ultimately is sort of on a really kind of macro level is what occurs, how do we break patterns and systems of behavior when it comes to systems of power, received systems of power, patriarchal systems of power. And I think the play is really kind of fundamentally interested in investigating what does it take to break those systems.
What does it take to break those systems? I'm asking you, as a woman of color, not as a question to be answered, but, something that I kind of ponder every single day.
As well as this white man, I don't know that I necessarily have the answers for sure, but I certainly can echo something that our amazing director Gianni Lozon said early on in the process, which is that things cannot heal until people heal themselves. And I think one of the things that she brought forth in this play as a kind of central metaphor, a central idea, is that the world can't heal until men heal themselves. However that is defined, I think, by the individual, not to put it in super binary terms, but I think that certainly that this play is really interested in that question and what it means for male identifying individuals within the context of this play to actually take agency over their own healing and over their own understanding of their placement in the world. And for that to not necessarily be, for that space not to necessarily be held in a traumatic way or in a violent way, but just in a very personal way.
Thank you so much. And that, as you were speaking, of course, I'm thinking about your character. And I'm wondering if you want to talk to us a little bit about your character, what attracted you to the role, and how you connect with him?
That's a great question. I think that I was really interested in this play when I first read it because I really appreciated its relationship to myth. And what I kind of loved about what Colleen was doing was she was really sort of looking pretty centrally at this idea that, these kinds of stories that we talk, I think it's really easy to forget that, our placement in history is so finite and so small, and because the problems that we're facing, especially right now, I think oftentimes are so overwhelming and so huge. And what I loved about what Colleen was doing is she was sort of really looking at this idea of breaking systems of patriarchal power, but really using 2,000, 3,000-year-old story in which to examine that question. And as I was reading it, thought, well, this is such an incredible offering. This is such an incredible way of engaging with this question, because it's so easy to forget, given the world we live in, that these are questions that have been asked for millennia. And so I really love that about it. And there were some really interesting parallels. Like I love that Peleus is the character that I play within the play,
Mm-hmm.
and that Dirk is the actor who plays Peleus. And I thought that there was some really interesting parallels between those two characters, and I liked that the play was subversive and that it had a really interesting sense of humor and that it posed more questions than provided answers.
Okay. If you and Peleus met in real life, would you be friends?
No. Not even close. I don't think I'd probably talk to him.
I want to ask you how you came to be part of this ensemble, kind of beyond, Arpita, I auditioned for it, I was amazing, and I booked the role. What attracted you to this particular project, and to be part of this particular ensemble, some of these amazing people that you've already referenced?
It was so exciting, actually, because Janny is someone whose work that I've admired for so long and have been looking for so many ways to engage with her on. And when the opportunity to audition came out, it was kind of a no-brainer to say yes to it, given that she was involved. The Monument is an incredible piece that I was able to see Janny's production of a couple of years ago, and so the collision between Janny's intensely beautiful sort of theatrical aesthetic in combination with Colleen's writing was something that I had experienced already and was really excited about being a part of. And so it was really because of Janny and the work that I had experienced of hers in conjunction with Colleen's writing that made me think that this was going to be a really exciting piece to collaborate on.
You are an actor, you're a director, you're a playwright, and you do those things simultaneously. I'm curious how your directing informs your acting and how your acting informs your directing.
That's such a great question. And I think for me, I feel so lucky that I have sort of been able to be theatrically brought up in with a number of mentors who I think really helped shape and define meaning for me behind like what the theater is and where its power lies. And I think ultimately what I'm starting to learn about myself is that there are some stories that I feel very compelled to act in. There are some stories that I feel kind of live inside me that I feel very compelled to put out there as a writer, as a new writer, very new writer, and that there are other stories that I feel like I receive and sort of can shape my perspective on and feel that can only be told through helping create that story from the outside. But it all are kind of extension of the same thing and the same desire to really sort of create works that have the power to affect change in each other and in ourselves. And I think that that's sort of, for me, one of the fundamental potent powers that the theater can provide. And that's where I come at it from. And sometimes, like I said, that story lives inside me. Sometimes that lives outside of me. And depending on where that meaning hits, it feels like it sort of, I get led by the project in a lot of ways.
I want to ask you about your latest Dora nomination. It's not your first one. Everybody said when Prodigal was running, this is an award-winning show. So when it was nominated for an award, and Outstanding New Play is the nomination that you got. How did it feel?
It felt so humbling. I can't. I look at the names of the individuals on that list, and I can't believe that my name is next to them. And I don't mean that with any sense of cliche. I really, it was really surprising to me. I've never written a play before, and so it was. I feel very honored and very humbled, and it's such a beautiful experience to be in a community of, and I also think of all the incredible plays that aren't on that list too, that also had like a massive impact on the community this year. And I feel so lucky to be in the company of a community that I think had like a really stellar year of new theatrical plays. I think somebody in one of the write-ups said something to the effect of like, this was the year of the new Canadian play in a lot of ways, or the reemergence of that post-COVID and post-pandemic. There's so many incredible pieces. And so I was very surprised and felt very humbled and very honored to be considered a writer, because I didn't think of myself in that way prior to this year. And ask anyone who was involved in Prodigal, I was freaking out the whole time. I thought maybe we had to cancel the show because I was embarrassing myself, and I was asking actors to participate in something that was really bad. And so I had a real hilarious time of creation on it, and was so blessed to be immersed with people who really supported that play and got me through the times that I really doubted myself. So I feel so humbled to be in the company of such amazing people, and find it so wonderfully funny that all of them, I think, have a shared experience, which is we all sometimes feel like we're frauds and we don't know what we're doing, and that feels really important too, in a way. I think that's such a beautiful mark of an artist in pursuit of something, and I feel very, very lucky to be in this community. Humbled and lucky, that's how I felt.
Amazing. Well, you've certainly proved those critics right, and I hope that you do view yourself as a writer, because obviously you
We'll
are. No more freaking out, right?
Yeah, that's right. Never, I promise.
Never again. Anything on the burner right now?
No, I think post Armadillo, I mean, yes, there's like always ideas. But I think for the time being, I'm really looking forward to, I'm starting my positions at Crows as its associate artistic director in its most full capacity starting in July. And so I think that's going to be taking up a lot of my immediate kind of sphere of focus. And I'm really I'm so excited to be really devoting myself to the myriad responsibilities that entails. And I'm looking forward to being able to devote myself as fully as I can to that for the time being.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's amazing. Are you going to get any kind of summer at all?
My partner's in Harry Potter right now, and we are going to go to New York for a couple of days, which will be really nice to, of course, see plays, to see other people in plays. But theater vacation, I feel like, is exactly what the doctor ordered. So that'll be nice. And then I'm hoping to be able to get into nature a bit. That's always something that's really important to me. And actually, one of the benefits of COVID, of the pandemic, was being able to be just take time and create. Like, if it wasn't for the really long walks, Prodigal never actually would have happened. So I'm looking forward to hopefully being able to take some time and be in and amongst the trees and the lakes and all the beautiful parts of the province that I feel like I rarely get to experience when they're frozen. So I look forward to seeing those things and seeing what they inspire.
Well, before I wish you a wonderful summer and a wonderful holiday in New York, is there anything I haven't asked you that I should have?
No, I don't think so. The fact that you even want to ask me anything to begin with is amazing. So I appreciate that you had more than one thing to ask, and it's been a real pleasure talking to you. It really, really has.
Well, it's my pleasure to speak with you. Keep on being you. You're amazing, and we are so fortunate.
Thank you.
Oh, it's my pleasure, and we are so fortunate. I sometimes think I'll leave you with this. I sometimes kind of have to pinch myself that I live in a city where I have more shows than I can actually see. That's amazing to me. If I could have your work outside of Toronto and have people see your work, the work of the Howland Company, which I admire so much,
Thank you.
that would be my wish for for you and the Howland Company is for more of Canada to be able to experience your work and have the
I
same
really
joy
appreciate that.
and connection that I do.
That means like truly the absolute world to me and to us, and it's like because of folks like you that allow us to amplify ourselves in the ways that we can. Things like this really help. So thank you for being a tireless advocate for our work and for the work of the community in all the ways that you are. We can't do it without you, truly. So it means the world.
Thank you. Thank you. It's such a pleasure. It was so nice to officially meet you, Paolo. What a lovely
Likewise.
person you are. And I look
you.
forward to meeting in person one day.
Likewise. Yeah, we will.
Soon.
Absolutely, we will. It was such a pleasure, Arpita. Thank you so much.
Likewise. Likewise. Have a lovely evening, and I'll see you soon. My sincere thanks to Paolo Santalucia for joining me to chat about Armadillos, now on stage until June 24th at Factory Theatre in Toronto. Armadillos is written by Colleen Wagner, directed by Jani Lozon, and stars Zorana Sadiq, Ryan Hollyman, Paolo Santalucia, and Mirabella Sundar Singh. Reserve tickets to see Armadillos on factorytheatre.ca. Thank you again, and see you next time.